Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. Hello, good evening. This is Rafael and welcome to Tecnica.antica. Before we begin, let me share a personal story. When I was a young man in the United States, the first song I ever played on a guitar was Orally, the folk melody that Elvis turned into Love Me Tender. And it was Elvis, along with Mario Lanza, who basically inspired me to become a professional singer. Today, I am not here to impersonate Elvis. There are wonderful Elvis impersonators out there, and they all have my deepest respect. What I want to do is something perhaps different. I would like to honor his real voice and to show you scientifically how Elvis used not one, not two, but three, even more ways to sing. Let's dive in, shall we?
Born through a party in the county jail.
We can go on together, still mine.
Elvis was completely self-taught. He never studied formally with a vocal coach. He never attended a conservatory, yet he had a gift a few singers ever develop. He was a sponge. He said in interviews that he learned to sing by listening for hours to Mario Lanza records and the great singers broadcast from the Metropolitan Opera in New York. At the same time, he soaked up Southern gospel harmonies in church, country storytelling from Hank Snow and Jimmy Rogers, and the raw blues phrasing he heard on Beale Street in Memphis. All these influences mixed inside one young man's ear, and without a single lesson. Elvis taught himself to shape his breath, tune his vowels, and adapt his larynx for different sounds. So when we hear Elvis shift from a bright raw rock sound to a powerful belt or a full operatic chest voice, it's not an accident. It's the result of thousands of hours listening, copying, and feeling how to control his voice from the inside. Exactly what a classical student does, but Elvis did it by instinct. And now, for some feats. Okay, let's dive into the three main emissions. First, the classic rock and roll setup. In songs like Hound Dog, young Elvis lifted his larynx high, narrowed the pharynx, and created a bright, twangy resonance with light chord compression and a rebellious bite. Technically, the thyroid muscle and the laryngeal elevators lift the voice box up. This shortens the vocal tract and gives that raw edge that defined early rock. In his early rock and roll years, Elvis sang with a high larynx. This posture is created by the contraction of the laryngeal elevators and the thyroid muscle. The larynx rises, narrowing the pharynx and focusing the sound forward. This setup adds brilliance, bite, and immediacy, but limits depth and resonance. You can hear the rawness, the edge, and the youthful defiance.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time.
And there's the same emission, no impersonation, just me demonstrating how this works technically.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine.
Next, the belt or chest mix configuration. As Elvis matured, especially in the late 60s and 70s, he used a thicker vocal fold mass with higher subglottic pressure. The larynx stayed mid to high, but it was more stable than the raw rock sound. This gave him that heroic dramatic belt you can hear in Suspicious Minds and Burning Love, among other pieces. By the late 60s, Elvis shifted into a more intense belting setup. The larynx is still elevated, but now with much more pressure from below. This configuration is powered by thickened vocal folds and increased subglottic pressure. Pharyngeal constriction adds intensity, but can reduce freedom if overdone. This gave Elvis the ability to cut through an orchestra without sounding operatic.
We can go on together with suspicious minds. We can go on together with suspicious minds. And we can build our dreams on suspicious minds.
And finally, for me, the most fascinating emission, Elvis' operatic chest voice. In ballads like It's Now or Never or Unchained Melody, Elvis intentionally lowered his larynx, just like Mario Lanza, creating darker vowels, a wider pharyngeal space, and richer overtones. Here, the sternothyroid and the sternohyoid muscles pull the larynx down, while the cricothyroid muscle stretches the vocal folds long and thin, producing that round, powerful chest sound we hear in true a fondo technique. In his final years, Elvis embraced a setup closer to operatic chest voice. His larynx was lowered by the sternohyoid and sternothyroid muscles, widening the pharynx and deepening resonance. This posture adds weight, warmth, and dramatic depth. It is also in these recordings that people most often describe him as a baritone. But was he always one? Or did age, body weight, and a stylistic choice shape what we hear? now, my demonstration. Same setup, not an impersonation, but the anatomy in action.
Are you still more? And time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love. I need your love. God.
Some people think belting is just shouting, but it's much more complex. For example, listen to Tom Jones hitting a B4. He uses even more overtone weight and a robust, perfectly supported belt. So there you have it. 3 distinct vocal setups, one unforgettable voice. Elvis Presley. He just wasn't a pop star with a lucky gift. He was a natural technician who built his voice by listening, copying, and trusting his ear, blending rock, gospel, country, and even opera into one instrument. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and join me live tomorrow at 7 p.m. CEST. We'll talk more about Elvis, Mario Lanza, Tom Jones, and answer all your questions about singing and its world. Thank you so much for being here, and long live the King's voice. Bye.
Return the sender.